Yeah, it's the Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Well, Ed Sheeran, Donkey of the Day for Wednesday, June 9th goes to a 79-year-old nun named Sister Mary Margaret Cooper. She was principal at St. James Catholic School in Torrance for 28 years. Now, what is a nun? Okay, we all know what nuns are, but do we know what they do? What do they stand for? I'm going to be honest, I don't know. But that's why there is Google. And when I do my Googles and type in what do nuns do, it says nuns historically take solemn vows and live a life of prayer and contemplation in a monastery or convent, while sisters take simple vows and live an active vocation of prayer and charitable works in areas such as education and healthcare. Now, when I Googled what do nuns do, what also came up is what is the role of a nun. And Google says some nuns devote themselves to prayer and contemplating God, while others help the poor, teach children, or care for the sick. One thing all nuns have in common is that they're acting in ways that they believe serve God, not themselves. I want y'all to remember that line. One thing all nuns have in common is that they're acting in ways that they believe serve God, not themselves. Okay. Well, I didn't know what nuns did exactly, but I thought it was something like Google said. I mean, when we think nuns, we think holy, right? We think righteous, okay? We think about God and serving others, not themselves. Well, Sister Mary Margaret must be a rebel because she said, they don't know who I be. Let's go to K-Cal, CBS 9 for the report, please.
A retired nun tonight is now facing fraud and money laundering charges in connection with an embezzlement scheme. 79-year-old Mary Cooper was the principal of St. James Catholic School in Torrance for almost 3 decades. Prosecutors say she stole more than $835,000 in school funds, including tuition and charitable donations. Cooper is accused of using that money to pay credit card bills and lavish gambling trips to Las Vegas. She has agreed to plead guilty to wire fraud and money laundering charges. She now faces up to 40 years in federal prison.
Man, when you praying for a plug, Sister Mary Margaret might be the first person in the history of life to break God's 10 commandments and Biggie's 10 crack commandments. Okay, 10 commandments she broke, thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. Okay, Biggie's 10 crack commandments she broke, keep your family and business completely separated. Hard to do when you are actually stealing from families at your business. Now, she did uphold rule number 1 of Biggie's 10 crack commandments because she definitely never let anyone know how much dough she was holding. In fact, prosecutors noted that she took a vow of poverty. Damn, Sister Mary Margaret, you a liar too? I could have sworn in Proverbs 25:1. It says, the Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. Hell. And I said hell because based on the rules, Sister Mary Margaret, that's where you might be going. Okay? One of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, and that is one of the reasons lying is considered a sin in Christianity. Now, lucky for you, Sister Mary Margaret, gambling is not considered a sin, but religious folks do say gambling pushes people far from love and respect, and gambling propagates greed for money and selfishness. Okay, this is why we all should just be who we are, because God knows us anyway. We out here performing, wearing these masks, as if God in the universe don't see the real us. You will never win if you're not right within. Word to Lauryn Hill. Now, I'm not judging this nun because I am absolutely in no moral position to do that, but the hypocrisy of this situation is visible to the naked eye and can and should be discussed. She's 79, people. All right, this isn't new behavior. She was, been doing this for a long time. If she was the Bible at 79, she would be the Old Testament. Okay, you don't just pick up these kinds of habits. She's been finessing before Christ. Now, the church says they don't want to press charges, understandable, but always remember, church forgives, the feds don't. All right, the feds are investigating because, as the NY Daily News said, theft is not only a crime against God, but a crime against man. And she pled guilty to 1 count of wire fraud and 1 count of money laundering. It's going to be hard to explain this one to Jesus, okay?
I already have an explanation.
You do? Mm-hmm. You got to tell me, because if sins was a spade game, she got 3 definites and at least 2 possibles. Tell me, what is it, Yee?
Well, did she win or lose when she was gambling?
She lost.
I think she lost a lot.
Okay, vow of poverty. And give up your personal possessions, right? That's what nuns have to do. That wasn't her money.
Ooh. Okay. But so never mind the stealing.
We're going to lock you up too, yeah.
Jesus Christ. See, only a person
and
from
then
Brooklyn.
it says, share what you have with your community.
Oh, my God. Only a scammer from Brooklyn would try to understand this
If
nonsense.
I was an
Okay?
attorney, okay.
Christ. Not to mention, she did all of this in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, Sin City.
Well, actually, the other rule is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It should never even be brought up as a case.
You know, I think Sister Mary and Angela Yee, I don't think there's no alkaline in their holy water. Okay. If I was trying to make a defense for her situation, I would say, I guess we all sin, right? Except for Jesus, who they say was perfect, right?
And then I want to know who did not take a vow of silence and snitched on this woman.
Yeah, you know. Listen, if I had to make a defense for her, I would say, I guess we all sin, except for Jesus. They say Jesus was perfect. Jesus was sent to save us, but he couldn't save us if we don't sin, right?
Right.
So if we have to sin, we got to sin so Jesus can do his job.
Yeah.
If we don't sin, then Jesus died for nothing.
All right.
You think that would work?
No.
No. Exactly. The moral of the story is you can't run off on the plug when the plug is God. Okay? Please give Sister Mary Margaret Cooper the sweet sounds of the Hamiltons.
You are the donkey of the day. You are the donkey of the day. Yee-haw.
I bet you she's from Brooklyn.
I don't think he's from Brooklyn. It's possible, though.
It's
What is
possible.
that supposed to mean?
You know what it means.
It means exactly what he said. Okay, there's so many scammers in Brooklyn. All right,
She wouldn't
you
have
will
got caught
get
if she was
robbed
from
in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, she would have.
Okay. Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.